What's going on, guys? Welcome to January's episode of Game of the Month, the show where we pick a game at random every month, and at the end of the month, we talk about it. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And we got some quick reminders real quick that you have like a day left to download and play Goat Simulator and Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection. Download that, play that on PS Plus, PlayStation Plus, and come back tomorrow for Plus Club. I'm fucking forgetting what all this shit's called. We're going to talk about our opinions on those games. Let us know yours. That's tomorrow. It's coming up real fucking fast. And our game of the month this month was Vindictus. We'll be picking a new game of the month here really soon. But before that, we have Discord linked down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. If you prefer to listen to us, I also want to welcome like 50 new subscribers that we got in the last day. I also would like to thank Dean Takahashi for giving us those subscribers. And don't be too harsh on him, okay? Some people are being really fucking extreme about that guy. The video is funny. Let's keep it at that. Yeah, so game of the month, we're going to be talking about Vindictus. But before we do that, we have to pick a new game of the month for February. So how that works, for anyone who doesn't know, is I am going to hit a random generator for a number. And when that number happens, manifests, we have a list with numbers on it. And the game that gets picked will be our game of the month in February. So I'm hitting the generate button now. And 3, 2, 1, and go. 12.
This is an easy month for us. Monster Hunter World.
Nice. Awesome. No, that's cool. A lot of times when we get like the game of the month, I'm like, okay, interesting. But I'm like, no, fuck, I'll play Monster Hunter. Cool.
Yeah, I still need to beat Iceborne anyway, so.
Yeah, that like is like now like a push. Like, hey, Seth, stop making excuses. You got to play it. So, cool. So we'll be playing Monster Hunter World, including Iceborne, of course, in February. So if you have that, return to it. If you want to talk about it in February, do that as well. And if you haven't picked it up and you're thinking about it, you should just do it because it's fantastic. What do you guys think about Monster Hunter in February? It's good.
Super
right?
convenient. Yeah. Also, I mean, really the only thing that I had to worry about this month anyways is a patch for 14. So the Plus games, which we'll bring up tomorrow, are going to make the month a little harder, but we'll get through it.
We still got to do Plus Club tomorrow. I'm glad I remembered the name that time. It's my fucking show, and I'm like, what's it called? I got a lot on my mind tonight. But I'm sure everybody knows, but BioShock Collection is going to be on PlayStation Plus. And then what was the other one? Does anybody remember? Doesn't matter. We'll talk about tomorrow. But between BioShock Collection, which is all 3 BioShock games and all the DLCs, that's huge. We just had Uncharted. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But PlayStation Plus is like, here's all the games. You want them all? You can have them. But yeah, so between that, Monster Hunter, I'm still not done with Final Fantasy 14. I need to get the fuck back into that.
Mm-hmm. And then we picked up Temtem.
And then I want to play Temtem. I'm fucking so about it right now. And then I also just picked up Escape from Tarkov, which I want to fucking get into. But as soon as the guy's like, buy insurance for me, and if you lose your shit, fucking maybe I'll recover it for you. I'm like, I might come back to this game later. That's way too intense for me. Then I also bought GTFO. And then I also bought Heave Ho and a couple other fucking games. So Heave Ho's this Devolver game. It's only $10. And it's 1 to 4 player. But you're like a little round guy with 2 arms, and you use the stick to move them, and then you use the triggers to grab. And it's like these weird puzzle maps. And I watched the trailer, and it's funny because it's a Devolver game. This is Tasty Cast right now. In the trailer, like it's playing like this happy like Nintendo like music or whatever, and it's showing all these guys like hanging and someone's swinging across the map, and they grab them by the hand, swing them to the next guy and shit. And I'm like, oh, this looks fun. But then when you fall off the map, they like explode, and their like avatar color it's just like if they're blue, it's just blue blood everywhere, orange blood everywhere,
just blood everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, I picked that up because I was like, $10. That game looks fucking kind of cool. It's pretty neat. So. We're not talking about that, though. This is Game of the Month. So is there anything else we can talk about? Oh, Chris, what do you think about Monster Hunter?
I was playing it earlier today, so
Head start.
Got that head start, yeah. That's like every fucking month with PlayStation Plus when they release games already on. I'm like, well, I guess I could start now.
The second anniversary event is going on right now, so I just jumped in for that.
Oh yeah, I saw some pictures on Twitter.
Anything in February happening, or is that going into February?
I think that one is rolling into February.
Yeah.
Probably since we have less than a week left of February, so
Less than a week left of February?
or January.
Oh, gotcha. Well, we got like a couple days.
Yeah.
Because January 31st, my birthday, coming up real fucking fast. I'm going to be 33. Baby's growing up.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh my god.
I'm so old, guys. I'm the oldest tasty crew. Not true. Not true. Very untrue. Okay, so yeah, in case you didn't get a chance to play it this month, we played Vindictus, which is, oddly enough, if you know about it, there was a free-to-play game back in the day called Mabinogi. I still have a soft spot for that game. This game is related to that, but completely different. It is a third-person action RPG, hub-based. So you go to a hub, you meet up with your friends, and then you go do missions. Action game, but it's an RPG. You level up, you get skills, stuff like that, where you run around and you just fucking swing weapons and you throw people all over the place and shit explodes and breaks and shit. And you complete the levels, get rewarded, upgrade your gear. And yeah, overall, I mean, it's kind of in the same vein as like PSO, PSO2. When the fuck am I going to play that? PSU. It should have been 6 years ago. God damn it. Yeah, we all played that. So yeah, typically when it's a game that like me and Joey played and Chris played for the first time, I like to hear his opinion first. So Chris, I'm gonna throw you under the bus. Let us know your impressions of Vindictus throughout the month of January.
It's a small bus.
Going into this, very small bus. Yeah. Going into this game blind with a slight understanding of kind of what it was. I'm really into like Dynasty Warrior games, hack and slash games, and
it
this
does
kind
have
of
that
has
kind of
the
vibe.
same like combat system to it, like left click, or left, right, left, right, left. Just these weird combinations depending on the character you're using and the variation of weapons you're using. Which I will give it credit for, that it has a lot of characters that are all unique in not only like combat style but like kind of appearance as well. And most of them, I think some of the newer ones don't have two weapons, but most of the earlier ones have two different weapons, which are, again, very unique in each of their play styles. That being said, this is a right off the bat, I knew this was a free-to-play Korean game. Only because I was immediately bombarded with messages of, here's this stuff in the shop, here's this stuff in the shop, none of which is like anything that would like make you stronger per se. It's 99% cosmetic.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are some things in the shop that are like inventory space expansions for 75 hours or things like that, which are it was really disheartening to come across the fact that you could buy extended inventory space for time durations.
That used to be really popular in free to play games. Time duration shit, which I don't miss. This was actually kind of a look into the past again, because I used to play a lot of free to play games a long time ago when they first started breaking out here, and the old days of them were like 3-day rental, fucking 12-day rental, month rental, and yeah, free to play's come a long way where there's games that are just like straight up legit to play free now. I was just looking at a game on Steam where he's like, this actually looks pretty good. What's up with it? And I'm like, that's a big red flag for me when I see a free to play game. I'm like, that looks pretty good. What's wrong with it? How do they get the money from you?
Yeah. That being said, though, the gameplay itself for me was really enjoyable. I actually enjoyed playing it a lot. Like I said, I'm really big a fan of like hack and slash Dynasty Warrior games, and this really harkened back to that, of learning the different combinations and what they do to the enemies. Like some of them will launch them, some of them launch you backwards, some of them are AoE attacks. They're all super varied and unique, and just it's really easy to get lost for hours and just kind of playing missions over and over again.
This game's easy as fuck to just keep playing it. Because I was like reluctant one night. I was like, I don't know what to play. And Josh was like, let's play Vindictus. And I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to. And he's like, let's just play it. I'm like, yeah, I should probably get some footage. And like I logged in and I was like, oh man. And I'm going through systems like, fuck, I don't remember how to do this. And I'm just like recording all the gameplay and shit. And then we started playing it, and we're having issues constantly, like trying to get into a party, how to fucking get into a mission together, all sorts of shit, just trying to reacquaint myself with the game. But then once all that was gone, we played for like 6 or 7 hours straight, just going. And I was like, man, I forgot just how fucking easy this game is to play. Especially now. Progression in it is fucking insulting to me.
I kind of said something to Chris along those lines. I was like, not to obviously speak for you, but like you were like, I'm like level 40 something. I was like, already?
Yeah. I believe it too, because fucking I was flying.
It's like, that took me fucking forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the old, like, here's a cookie thing. Like, you can level and progress pretty quickly. From my experience, I don't know old gameplay, but currently it felt very fast. Like, I was
super fast, yeah.
already caught up to Chevy in a day, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it which lends itself really well. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm hindered by a free-to-play game, where usually sometimes those will be like, oh, here's your allotted experience for the day. Now you got to wait till tomorrow for that to refresh.
That's fucking one thing, though, is like, me and Chevy used to play back in the day. We both got to around 50. Back then it took longer, but I never was hindered in my progression. Then I returned to the game, and not only is there like, hey, when you leveled to this, we had a present for you. And I open it up and it just goes, ugh, it just drops all these items and shit. I'm like, and then it's like, hey, check your gift inventory. I'm like, I don't want to. And I went in there and there's all these fucking presents. I'm like, what's in those? I start opening those and it's like, it's like a 30 days XP boost, 30 day this, 30 day that. I'm like, dude, like, what, you want me to get to the level? Because I guess level 100 is the max, the cap.
I believe so.
Which kind of makes sense that I'm assuming the progression has been sped up to a certain point to get people just starting now caught up with people who are doing raids and shit.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like a late MMO at this point where they start like WoW, where they're like, just get to the end.
I mean, Hellion 14's doing that now.
Sure. And that comes with aging in any MMO type game. But this was very apparent. I came back to this and I was just like, there's like fucking on the ground, like a thing telling me exactly where to walk to. I'm like, that would have been nice back in the day.
Yeah.
And just everything's real, just straight up like, go over there. Yeah. And I'm like, thank you. Because fucking before it's like, go talk to blah, blah, blah here. And I'm like, where's that?
Yeah, where?
And I'm like, run around town, look at the signs and shit. And I'm like,
there's their name, yeah.
You know, this is kind of immersive, but at the same time, this game's not really trying to be immersive. It's literally go in there and kill things and come back to town. So when it's like, oh, go find the little girl somewhere, I'm like, I don't want to. I want to go kill fucking monsters. I don't want to do this shit. So yeah, they really streamlined a lot of stuff. Outside of that fucking bug we ran into, but that got fixed.
Oh, you found a bug too?
Yeah. Well, you didn't have to do the thing, did you, on mine, or did you? The Windows?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I ran into some stuttering in town, but it stopped. So I don't think I had the issue. But Chevy had an issue that he had to fix the game.
I had stuttering as well, and immediately the game said, if you experience any stuttering or lag, just to either reduce the graphics settings, or what I did was made it so that the only people I could see were people on my friends list or people in the guild.
And that worked for me too. Yeah. Turning off everybody.
I just went to channel 175, and there's just one naked guy in town standing really proudly. Me and Josh just run by him every once in a while, and he's like level 100, and I kept looking at him. I was like, wait, he's wearing what you're wearing. And Josh is like, is he? And he like ran up, and they were wearing the same thing. I'm like, why is he in your clothes if he's level 100? That's what you have to look forward to, is that? Because Josh looked fucking stupid. He looked like the fucking Hulk. But yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of issues. There was stuttering every once in a while, but it's weird. When this game first came out, my computer couldn't play it at max graphics. I had to keep tweaking the graphics to make it just the best it could look while running the best it could. And then coming back to it now, my computer's overkill. It'll fucking destroy that game. And the game still doesn't run 100%. Yeah. Because it's so old now that it's like, new infrastructure. I don't understand what this technology is. And it goes,
weird shit in the code.
And I'm like, fuck, dude. I never had like a golden era of this game.
I don't think anyone did.
Yeah, probably not. It comes with the territory of older free-to-play games.
Yeah. Anything else?
I could go on, but I want to save some space for everybody.
Yeah, I just started going on. Yeah, I'll jump into my impressions real quick. This, like I said, I was reluctant to hop back into this. I was curious, but not really excited to hop back in and play this game. But upon doing that, I was like, oh yeah, this game's fun. Like I used to really enjoy it a lot, and then coming back to it, I was just kind of worried that like I think it lived in its time, and it's probably past due. If they released like a Vindictus 2, I'd be fucking completely into it. My opinion on this game is pretty mixed. Coming back to it, I still think it's really fun. I still think it looks pretty decent. It was really impressive when it first came out. It's on the Half-Life 2 engine, I believe. So it has physics.
Yeah, it's on Source.
The graphics are still pretty sharp in my opinion. It's hit or miss in some areas though. The art style is really nice. When you talk to NPCs, they're just pictures that move or whatever, but they look like really crisp, very anime-like, but kind of fantasy looking. The amount of characters now is fucking crazy. I mean, I played this when there was 3. And then by the time I stopped playing, I think there was like 5 or 6. I come back, there's like 22 or some shit.
Pretty
and they all have advanced fucking weapons, except for some of the newest ones. Yeah, that's really cool. Like, they've really been supporting this game. I was looking at the map, and there's like fucking areas for level 100 now and shit. And when I left, I was like around 50. So I was like, there's quite a bit of stuff to do in this game. And overall, I still find this game really impressive, especially with its age, because I think it holds up. But games like, kind of like Chris was saying, Dynasty Warriors and just hack and slash action RPG type games, it's really easy as long as you nailed the combat for that game to kind of live on for a while. And one thing Vindictus does really well is the combat's flashy, it's fast paced, and it's impactful. You feel like you're fucking wrecking people. You come through and you start swinging, and everything you're hitting's breaking, and all the enemies you're hitting are fucking like getting smacked by the attacks. And you have smash attacks. And when you hit them, they go flying into shit, and they'll break stuff. And it's still super satisfying, even if where I'm at this point in the game, it's kind of just like brainless. I'm just running through these hallways, just fucking just smashing people into everything, and I'm just like blankly staring at the screen while I do this, but I'm still enjoying myself. Same as Dynasty Warriors.
100%, yeah.
Same kind of mentality. The things I feel mixed on is progression is too easy at this point. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I was like, man, I kind of missed that like work up through the levels, not just like, here's a level every time you go to a fucking mission. Also, fights are so much easier now, even ones for my level. Back when this game first came out, they were really showing off like physics mattered in combat. There's like ways you could tie down enemies, and there's physics to that. You would like fucking lasso dude's leg, and you'd like trip him, and he like start trying to get up off the ground. And you like have to have half your team during a boss battle like try and drag him back while people are hitting him and shit. It was a really cool fucking system that I haven't seen in any other game really. That's not a thing really anymore. There's no need for it. It's like a cool system, but like as the game progressed, there's like, just go in there and kill the guys. When you killed a dude back in the day, these like black little orbs would drop off of them, and you walk up to them, press a button, you reach in and rip out items out of them. Now you just walk over them and just get them, which is way more convenient, way more time convenient. But aesthetically, I kind of liked the old way they did it. It had character to the whole world, and all these small little incremental things they did to streamline the process has kind of hollowed the experience outside of the combat. I still think the combat's really fun, but all the little things that made this game so unique are kind of obsolete now. So if anything, it's not, none of it's bad, but it made me miss the old days of it. Kind of like how I assume people who play WoW now miss old WoW, so they made WoW Classic, that kind of thing.
Well, like revisiting Final Fantasy 11 as an example recently. It's completely soloable now, and it's a very weird experience. Because that game was not before. So
I just remember like when you fought a boss in Vindictus, you'd see like 4 health bars, and like, oh shit, and like it would be this whole fight where like things were getting broke down, and people were like scrambling to pick up pieces of rock from fucking rubble and throw it at the dude while they're charging at him, and people were trying to fucking like lasso him down and do all these things to beat the boss. There's like this whole procedure to it. You're like, we gotta fucking beat this dude, and now every time I go in, I have all these moves and skills now, like a shitload of them. I was able, when I came back, I think you ambiently accrue.
yes.
Because when I came back, I was able to buy all the skills.
Yep.
And I still have so much reserved that I can buy all the skills that will ever unlock for me. So my dude's just like a fucking god. And every time I go fight a boss, I have a move where I buff myself, where I do extra damage, and then like a speed buff and all the shit. And I turn all those on, and I go, bah, 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 and their fucking health bar goes, and the boss fight lasts literally like 2 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And it goes. I also really miss though when you kill the boss, when the round ends or the level, it like freeze frames and the camera goes around while the music's building,
Taking screenshots.
and it looks cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that shit. So yeah, I still really appreciate this game. I still think it's really fun. But I do think it's been streamlined like a motherfucker. It's like when you use a brush tool on someone's face. If you overdo it, they start looking kind of like fake. It kind of takes away from, you know, some of the detail that you know, kind of adds character to something. Same thing with this game. A lot of the stuff that kind of added character to the game has been smoothed over, and makes you miss the old days of it. But I still appreciate where it went. The amount of characters is insane. Although, as tempted as I was looking at all the new characters. I'm like, oh, look at all these new characters. I really want to try them all. I was like, you know what, though? I want to fucking continue with the character that I was playing with and just see what's beyond. Because I've made new characters over and over again. And I don't want to play the beginning again. So as much as I want to try these new characters, I tried the big sword guy who looks kind of like Guts. And his moves are very much like Guts. So I was like, this is fucking cool. But I was like, I don't want to fucking start again, though. So I went back to my character, the 2 sword guy from the original game. And he's still fucking awesome. So I'm sure all the new characters are great, but he's still like great. So.
Yeah, I dabbled a little bit with a couple of characters, but I pretty much just played the sword and shield character from the original. Do you have any more?
No. I'll sat on.
So yeah, I mean, I actually share a lot of what Seth said. I think the combat in this game is a lot of fun. I think that's very important, though, with the type of game they were making. They kind of had to nail that to keep the game alive, and I think they did it. And because of things like it having cool, flashy moves, every character feeling unique, different weapons, and then having physics and destructible stuff and ragdoll, you just feel like a badass the whole time, and that's just fun, right?
Character design's cool too. The attacks are super stylish, and the armor's fucking dope. Like my character always looks fucking awesome.
Oh, and destructible armor.
Yeah.
I think is a neat thing. So, you know, there is some reason, though most of it is definitely meant for fan service. There is a reason to pick your Under Armor as well, because it can mix and match with your armor as well. This game is very fan servicey, though, so if you're kind of turned off by that, I'd probably steer clear, regardless if you're male or female character in this game. The character models are all very well made still. They look really good still. And I like that all the characters are like a named character, and you can like modify like their hair and stuff as you could with like a normal human being, but they are them. So their face is there, and their body structure and all that is them. So I think it's kind of a unique take, and I think they all have their own stories and lore and stuff too, which is really interesting.
They're all named after people from Mabinogi also, which I think is interesting.
That is interesting. But Mabinogi is the afterlife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it came out first. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird system. Anyways.
Missed that game.
I agree with you too with the fact that the challenge aspect being gone is kind of a bummer. I kind of wish I was able to get to the level 90 to 100 area, because I am curious if it's like that at the end too, because if the end is still difficult, it
Yeah.
can be a little forgiving in that regard.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Because I do miss the first time you fight the polar bear. You got, like you said, you got someone you grapple hook their the paw while they're in mid run, and you pull so they'll trip.
The first time we ever fought him was like a big deal because he was like a lot faster than a lot. That's one thing that's cool about the bosses is they're really like sporadic and they move a lot and they run around and shit. Now when I kill them so quickly, it doesn't even matter how quick they move because even if they hit me, I'll kill them before they can kill me.
One other example too is I think they're goblins. I can't remember. There's that one boss. He's wearing like shredded armor, and I remember us grouping up and just fighting him like crazy. And like someone ran over and they made a fireplace real quick, and then like people would be trying to keep him distracted. Someone run over and like try to heal up at the fireplace real quick, or like they'd repair their armor real quick because it broke. And that fight took forever because we were just so
crazy.
underprepared for it. I can go in there now and like do my big combo where I end with a kick twice and he's dead. Like it's insane. So the charm of the combat is really missing.
Because there's all these things that you can do, but there's no need for them now.
Yeah, you just feel like a lawnmower.
Yeah.
And it's still fun, but yeah, the charm's gone in that regard, which kind of sucks. But it is an older game, and it kind of makes sense. I honestly think if they were to just, like you were kind of saying, make another one of these, you take the same exact formula, even improve upon it, obviously, and add multi-core support so stuttering goes away. I still think the game could be enjoyed by people today. Just that style of gameplay just works.
Yeah.
People love like hub-based games are big right now anyways. I mean, look at Monster Hunter. Warframe's still popular. PSO 2 is actually coming out here. Like
and games that have evolved that genre, like Destiny and Division. I mean, they will simulate a world full of people by streaming in groups of people randomly, but you're still meeting up at a hub, getting together, and going out and doing missions and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that gameplay style is just very accessible to a lot of people. And I don't know. I'm kind of rambling at this point, but overall, I had a lot of fun with the game. It has aged. There are things that to modernize it, they would probably have to make a new game, but it still feels like Vindictus to me, which is good. It is just a little shallower than it used to be.
It's late in its cycle, yeah.
So
It's been streamlined like a motherfucker. Yeah. Anything else? So it sounds like we all enjoyed it. With me and you, it seems like we're noticing the aging of the game, though. And Chris has been introduced into essentially Dynasty Warriors now.
Yeah.
So, which is
the strategy's
fun.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it might be like someone might be watching this and go like, no, like at like level 90, 100, it gets hard. We don't know.
Yeah.
I hope so. But I still remember if I was playing, if I'm level 50, I'm in a level 50 zone, I was always still struggling through the fight and getting through it. Now, because I had all those reserve points and shit, that might be the issue. I was just fucking wrecking everything. And again, it was still I was playing for hours. I couldn't stop playing. And I was like, do I want to start playing this again? Do I want to keep playing this? No, I got fucking Final Fantasy 14 and other shit I'm playing right now. I can't do that. I'm so close to 60. But yeah, I could find myself fucking playing this again. If enough people are like playing
revisit it pretty like intermittently still. So
yeah, I haven't played in years. So coming back again, I was like, I could see myself playing this right now, like continuing it, not just for the show, but in general because it's fun. So, but I got other things, bigger priorities right now. So, anything else you guys want to say?
Well, just the priority thing. I think that's kind of forever been the issue I've had is the hook aspect was never strong enough to keep me in it. So
back when it fucking came out, I could easily have played it all the time. But yeah, nowadays there's just so many fucking games.
Yeah.
Journey to the Savage Planet, whatever the hell that just came out. I want to try that. Even though everybody's pretty mixed on it. So should we jump into recommendations or you guys got more to say on it? Okay, so I'll start first. If man, who do I recommend it to? Because I almost feel like I'm retroactively telling you to play an old game, which is already kind of a hard recommendation to do. But if you're looking for fun, free-to-play games, I would definitely recommend this. There is stuff to buy that's kind of lame, but you don't have to, which is really nice. And like I said, they give you shit all the time for just playing it. And the gameplay itself is unhindered by money. So if you're like, man, I want to play something, fucking, I don't know if I want to buy that game or buy this or blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, I mean, go play Vindictus if you're looking for like a hack and slash game that's fun to play. Also, like I said, it's free to play. So like if you want to play with a friend, they don't got to go buy the game either. That's the beauty of games like that. If you do like hub-based games, like I always say PSO, PSO2, if you've played that, PSU, fucking Monster Hunter, any of those games where you're in a hub and you go out and do missions and come back, I would definitely recommend this game. I mean, it's not as good as some of the best ones out there, but it's not bad. It's fun. If you like third-person action games, I would definitely recommend this game. Outside of the free-to-play aspects of it, I think it's pretty fucking legit. Stylistically, the way it looks is awesome. The gameplay is fun. It's got a lot of really neat ideas. I mean, it plays with physics, which is something a lot of games still don't really do when it comes to this kind of game.
Yeah, a lot of action games are really bad about nailing impact, and the game definitely nails that. So
yeah, I mean, it can feel kind of hollow when you're just swinging into them and they're frozen, like just taking the hits. When you get that last hit and they go flying, it always feels really good. And when you're fighting like a boss and you like knock them down and shit, it's like, and then they get up and start fucking raging and stuff. They put a lot of work into that game when they first made it and put it out. So, and it still shows. I was playing, I was like, man, these guys really wanted to make an awesome game when they made this game. It's just old now. If you like games where you fight, hack and slash pretty much, but like you run into a boss and you got to fight like some big boss event, maybe you won't have the same experience I had this last month, but it used to be like that. And if you can still get that experience starting brand new now, it's definitely worth it. That was one of my favorite parts about this game, was like running into the next new boss and finding out how the fuck they fought and strategizing on how to beat them and stuff like that. So, and then yeah, gear grind, stuff like that. Crafting, let's call that. So I have a gem I put in the auction house that when I looked at the average selling price, it was like fucking 22 million. Jesus. So that just told me that like the game's so old that the economy's fucked. Because I've played a lot of like games that have been around for so long that everyone's had so much money that it had inflated prices like that.
That's the problem with every MMO in existence.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I was looking through my inventory at shit to sell, and I was like, 22 million. I was like, that must not be much anymore. And then I looked at those shit, I'm like, 4 million, 3 million. I was like, Jesus Christ, okay. So I wonder if it's old. I should go check. Recommendations? 4-player co-op action games?
Really, the one thing I just even want to add on there is, I can't just like say, go out and play this over other things, but I can say if you're in between games or and you're just kind of like not necessarily know what you're in the mood for, it's a really easy game to just kind of get in and play. You don't even have to think about it too much.
Except for when you're in town. That takes more thinking than the game.
If you get acquainted.
Yeah.
But after you get the gist of what you're supposed to be doing, it's real easy to just hop in a map and go. And if that sounds appealing every once in a while, I do think this is a good game to hop in every once in a while. I still do it myself. So I don't play it a lot, but sometimes I'm just like, yeah, today I'm going to play Vindictus. And that's just what I do for the day.
This game is brutal, and I forgot too. This isn't a recommendation. I mean, unless you're into brutal shit. But fucking, there's that like Halloween Town place.
Talking about Ellis?
Yeah. And there's a kid, Ellis. And I remember when I first played the game, I was like, holy shit. But now that I'm like going to be 33 here real fucking soon, I was watching that. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
There's just this big monster. You come running in, and there's this little kid,
troll or something like that,
flying through a fucking wall, and he goes rolling. He's all bloody and shit. This is like a kid. And then this monster comes out, and your character's just watching. The whole time I'm like, why aren't you fucking trying to help him? What are you doing? And he like grabs the kid by the head, and he's like slamming him into a fucking wall. And then like me and Josh are playing. I'm like, he fucking killed that kid. And then we get back, and Josh is talking to one of the NPCs, and he's like, he did kill that kid. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I know. You think that kid's gonna survive that? I was like, this game is brutal. That's you can tell it's Korean too. They don't give a shit.
It's just a revenge element.
Yeah. Like fucking. He killed the kid. You killed him. It's even now. Chris.
This game really makes me harken back to MapleStory. So I think if you enjoyed MapleStory but want like a 3D hack and slash version of it, I think you'd enjoy this.
There's a MapleStory too.
Yeah, I know.
You're going back to the old days.
I'm old school.
This episode's fucking No Country for Old TLG.
I was saying, go get my walker real quick. You want to start talking about some old games?
I have some crutches somewhere. I got a wheelchair though. Let's jump into grades. We'll start with Chevy.
All right. So being that this game is an older game, and I do want to take that into consideration when I do my grade here, I don't want to hold that against it because, you know, where it's at in its life span, it made complete sense when I was playing it, though maybe a little disappointing because of the nostalgia factor and just what I remember. I still think it is a fun game. 100%. It's really easy to hop in. It's really easy to play with your friends. It's really easy to just kind of like lose time in it. There's no depth to it anymore. So like I said, the hook factor is kind of missing for me, but the same reason I play Dynasty Warriors, if I just want to get in and fuck some shit up, it's a blast. So with that, I'm going to actually give it a B. I think it's a very fun game. I could still play it, even with it being this old, which I can't say about a lot of old MMOs. So yeah, B.
Fair. I'm really shuffling between that and something else. So I pretty much went over my opinions on it already. It's still really fun. It's still impressive to me how a lot of it has held up. But my nostalgia for the days of the game being a lot more exciting for me kind of bummed me out while playing it. So I'm going to give it a B minus. I want to give it a B, but like you were saying, the hook aspects, all the things I love about it, are not there anymore. It's just a really competent, free to play action game that's still really fun to play. But just all that, like if you have a game and you have these cool ideas, that was the selling point, and now those cool ideas are kind of obsolete. It just kind of bums me out. So yeah, B minus, still high. I mean, it's an old game, so I would definitely recommend it to people. So, Chris.
I get to be the tasty bastard this episode.
Uh-oh.
Um,
So you're going B plus.
so
B for bastard.
Sorry, Jesus.
Should be.
this game for me, although the gameplay is entertaining, I really enjoy Dynasty Warriors games. I know it's kind of like a niche genre for a lot of people, but it really shows its age for me. Like immediately after getting out of the initial intro, I could just tell that this was a very old free-to-play style game, and it had that very old feel to it. There's just a lot of jankiness to it that really put me off as well. Here and there, just weird like bugs of like characters clipping in weird areas.
And actual bugs you can kill.
There are actual bugs you can kill, yes. But just like the backdrops were very plain to me. Like there wasn't a lot of care put into the scenery around you, and the enemies felt very flat. So while the gameplay itself is enjoyable, it couldn't carry it enough for me. Beyond that, like here's your 72-a-day fucking bag space allotment. But that being said, I'm just gonna give it a C plus because it has the potential if they remade the whole game and like drop that old school Korean free to play style, it would be so much more enjoyable.
Chris hates Korean free to play style. Korea, you heard it here first. Fix your shit. I'm gonna spend real money, I want to buy it outright. I'm not renting shit from you. Yeah, so C plus, B minus, B. Kind of makes sense for me and you as well because we have a nostalgia to it as well. So
Yeah,
we have a history with the game. But I mean, C plus I think is fair too, especially with the age of the game. It's a free to play game, all that kind of stuff. So all good grades. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say on Vindictus before we close this shit out?
I think Nexon is the publisher for it. And
At least they were. I don't know if they still are.
I
Probably are.
think they still are.
So I see Nexon exists.
They don't.
still.
Yeah, they don't really do anything anymore.
All those companies turned into like mobile companies.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
So it's really kind of a bummer. I would like to see them expand upon Mabinogi and Vindictus, because I think there's a lot of interesting ideas there, and they're just really not being utilized anymore.
Both those games had fucking really creative ideas.
Yeah.
Especially Mabinogi. Make a Mabinogi too. That'd be fucking wild. I'll be there first day.
Yeah, when those games came out, they didn't exist. So
They still don't.
yeah.
The idea, like Mabinogi fucking making a child character that actually ages throughout the game and gets like older, and you level like by years of your life, and you get skills, and had all these social systems and shit. Feel like you're living a life in that world and stuff. I mean, it's old as fuck now. If you look at that game, you're like, it's shitty looking, but I always loved the art style to it. But that the company that made both those games really fucking really cool ideas. I like when people are, you know, inventive with shit, so try new things. So yeah. All right, well, let us know in the comments. Did you guys play Vindictus? If you played it, did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you kind of in the middle there? Is it starting to show its age? Are you playing it for the first time now and you're just like, hey, this isn't too bad? Or be like, man, this game's kind of shit. I don't know why you guys are talking about it. And if you didn't play it, are you curious about playing it? I'm really surprised. I've been saying this all month. I'm really surprised this isn't on console. I think this game could get some new life breathed into it. Being on console, it already has controller support. This game was made for console. It literally works so well on a controller. So it's really confusing that it's not on there. But yeah, if you haven't played it, why haven't you played it? Are you going to play it? And it's free to play. So I would still recommend you check it out if you're curious. And yeah, let us know everything you're thinking about when it comes to Vindictus in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Game of the Month. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out our streams, links down below. We're on a lot of shit. So you can click those links and check us out there if we stream. We have a Discord, link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all time. We have a new show coming soon. So check out, forgot the name of the show already. Group chat.
Group chat.
We have a whole section in the Discord for that. So if you're curious about that show, that's the place to be. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And yeah, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Until tomorrow for Plus Club, talking about Goat Simulator and Nathan Drake Collection, and revealing the second game on PlayStation Plus in February, whatever the fuck it is. What is it? It's something not bad, I think. I don't remember. Until then, have a good night, guys, and take it easy.